everyone, I'm Allison.
I'm Bryce, and we're Better Half Reviews.
And today we are talking about Fleets of Fortune. It's designed by Andrew Tippin, and the art is by Sid R. Quaid, and the game is published by Roxie Games.
In Fleets of Fortune, you're gaining influence and treasure, hiring crew and captains, and expanding your fleet.
Alright, so let's check it out. Here's the setup of Fleets of Fortune. In order to win the game, you need to have one captain in your crew, and one of each of the 4 ships. You've got a handy dandy player aid for card abilities and actions for your turn, and everyone starts with 5 influence cards. On your turn you can do 2 separate actions, so let's go through those. You can exchange any number of influence cards if you want to, so I can discard these 3 and draw 3 new cards. So that's one option. You can also recruit a crew member, so you need to pay the price listed on their card. So I have ale, a sword, and a gun. I can discard these and gain this crew member. Another option is putting a crew member to work. So anyone who's on your crew, if they have a bonus, you take that bonus. So this person would gain me 1 ruby. If I were to put a crew member to work and I have multiples of the same type, I would gain 3 rubies instead of just 1, and that would count as 1 action.
In this situation, if you were to put a crew member to work, you would have to choose between these ones that produce rubies and this one that produces diamonds. Say I really wanted a diamond, so I would produce 1 diamond. There are 3 special crew members: the Thief, Mutiny, and the Captain. The Thief's special ability, when you use him, allows you to steal a ruby from another player. Mutiny allows you to steal an opponent's crew member. And the Captain allows you to trade 3 gems of any type for 2 other gems of another type. The Thief and Mutiny, when used, will be discarded. Captains and other crew members will always stay in your hand unless taken or discarded by some special ability.
And you can only have 1 captain for your whole crew.
To gain crew members, as we've already discussed, you can trade in influence cards that match the symbols on each crew member. However, these special crew members, the Mutiny, Thief, and Captain, you can pay the amount of doubloons shown on the card to be able to get those crew members without having to trade in the influence cards.
Another action you can take is purchasing a fleet. So these are the options available right now. I can purchase the Vengeance since I have 4 red rubies and 2 blue sapphires. I trade those in and I gain the Vengeance. Note that it also does have a cost, so if you don't want to collect the gems, you can also spend 300 doubloons. The last action you can take is choosing Pirate Booty. So you can take one of these cards. It will have either an item or an action. The items you keep in your hand, the actions must be played immediately. So you can get different gems, doubloons, and some different actions. We'll go over those later.
Once a Pirate Booty card is used, whether it's an action or an item, it is discarded.
So these gems can be used just the same as these to purchase fleet.
One note, however, is if you do use a Thief, you can't steal these card gems. You can only steal the physical gems.
So again, you do 2 separate actions on your turn. So let's say I chose to purchase that fleet and then gain a Pirate Booty. And now once my turn is over, I need to make sure that I have 5 influence cards. And the play passes to another person.
Some of the actions you can receive from the Pirate Booty deck are Sea Change, Walk the Plank, Ripped Pockets, Persuasion, Line Change, and Plunder. Plunder allows you to steal a booty card from an opponent. Line Change means you have to reshuffle the crew cards. Persuasion allows you to gain 1 crew card. Ripped Pockets means that each of your opponents will have to discard 1 Pirate Booty item of their choice from their hand. Walk the Plank allows the player to select an opponent's crew member and return that crew member to the deck. However, captains are excluded from this action. And then when Sea Change is drawn, each of the fleets have to be reshuffled. One thing to note about ships in each fleet is that they cost different gems, and so once one is purchased, it might not have the same gem requirements as the one before it. Game end is triggered when someone purchases a ship from each fleet and has a captain. Once someone triggers the game end, you finish out the round. If that person is the only player to collect all 4 ships and have a captain, that player wins. However, if other players finish the set, the player with the most crew members wins. If it's still a tie, then the player with the most gems wins.
All right, so that's how you play the game. Let's talk about how we feel about it. Bryce, what are some of the pros?
I think this is a great little engine building game, and I like how there's lots of different paths to victory. What I mean by that is you could either buy the ships with gems, or you could search for pirate booty and get some doubloons to purchase your ships.
Definitely. We've had different games where I've had a lot of crew to try to build up my gems. And then I've had other games where I had less crew but still was able to get gems through the pirate booty. So even though everybody needs to get 4 ships, fleets, and a captain, there's lots of different ways to go about it.
Mm-hmm. I like how there was this one time, like, thought I was so far ahead of you that there was no way I could lose. And you're just like, oh, here's all the doubloons I need to buy a ship, and oh look, here's all the coin or the gems I need.
Yep.
And I'm just like, wait a second, like, I was so far ahead. How did you do that?
And something else I like about this game is just the fun little artwork. It's just inviting and fun and silly. And also, on a side note, the instructions don't take themselves seriously. So, like, as you're reading it, it gets all more piratey and piratey. And so, when I was reading it out to Bryce when we were learning the game, I'm trying to, like, talk in a pirate voice. So, it's just, like, a fun little game, and you can just, be pirates for a half hour or so. I also like that the different fleets, they have different prices. Even though, like, the Widowmaker is one type of fleet, all of those Widowmakers have different prices of gems and combinations to go for. So it makes it a little bit more strategic when you're playing a game where if you're collecting your gems, you need to buy that fleet as soon as you can, because if someone else buys it, the card underneath it may have different gem requirements. So I like that adds like a little different strategy, and like you never know what's going to come up next.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of a race to get, the fleet that you need for the gems that you're collecting.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
It's so heartbreaking when someone comes in and steals the fleet that you've been working for.
It happens.
But that's gaming, so.
Yep. So let's move over to the cons.
So one of the big cons for me is that sometimes it feels like you're wasting your turns. And what I mean by that is you really need or want to get certain crew members, but you don't have the cards you need for it. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna get rid of these influence cards and draw 3 more, and I got the same thing.
So then you just get some pirate booty instead. But that's also when you maybe need to change up your strategy or what you're going for.
I agree. But sometimes, like, you just can't get around the fact that you need certain influence cards, especially if you're trying to hire a captain and you haven't really seen very many captains come up yet.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, that can happen sometimes, but I don't think it's a deal breaker, really. I like that there are different actions that you can take to try to still get something, like especially like the pirate booty. You might end up getting a diamond that you need or the doubloons to purchase a fleet. So there's a trade-off, and then I like that there's those action cards in there that kind of change up what's on the table or allows you to take something from someone else, because that's what pirates do, right? But I got sidetracked. For the cons, there's not really much of anything besides what Bryce mentioned. Like sometimes your turns may not turn out very well, and you may feel like they're a little bit wasted. But overall, I think it's a fantastic game. I like that it's light and quick, and you don't have to take yourself too seriously while you're playing it, and go ahead and imitate a pirate if you want to.
Yeah, I can see this game going well with family that might not necessarily be gamers. You can introduce it to them. It's pretty easy to learn and pick up. And so it's just, like Allison said, a good lightweight kind of filler game. But it does have a decent amount of strategy for, when to go for influence, when to go for booty, when to, produce diamonds or trade them in and buy those different fleets. So I think it will satisfy and be fun for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Especially since there's not really many words in the actual game. There's a lot of big symbols and pictures. It's very approachable for kids, as long as you think they can handle some of that take that in the game. Alright, so those are our thoughts about Fleets of Fortune. If this sounds like a great game to you, you should definitely check it out. We'll have some links in the description of how you can find the game.
And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe. And go check out our merch. Links in the description. It's awesome. So, this has been Better Half Reviews.
I'm Allison.
I'm Bryce.
Happy gaming!
Have fun.
Fast! Hoist the sail!